It was in the middle of the day. Like, it wasn't late at night. It was just literally that people were sitting by the max.
Now at 8 o'clock, a stolen car and 2 people hit. We'll let you know how serious their injuries are and what happened to the person behind the wheel.
Plus, major progress on the Burgoyne fire as firefighters gain more than 50% containment. The latest on the evacuation orders as officials start to allow people to return to their homes.
Also coming up this hour, the Oregon Humane Society trying to find homes for more than 50 animals that were rescued from the southern part of the U.S. We'll have those adoption tales for you and other local headlines coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We're also tracking the latest on a fire at a care facility in Tigard that started outside the facility and spread inside. Fire officials say the fire is now under control and all of the residents were evacuated, but 2 people were hurt, one of them taken to the hospital. We also know more than 24 residents are displaced.
Our Chris McGinnis is tracking the traffic impacts of this fire, Chris.
Yeah, guys, China, this is impacting Southwest Hall Boulevard at this point. That senior care facility is off of Southwest Hall and Hemlock. So with the response, Southwest Hall Boulevard is closed. There's a local detour to get around that, but just know that that'll plan some extra time or cause some extra time for your commute. May even want to try Greenberg Road in the meantime. Drive times up a little bit out of Clark County, but not bad. 18 minutes for southbound I-5 drive to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Our big trouble spot on the freeways right now is this. I-5 southbound at the Twilliger Boulevard exit ramp. You can see they've got a crash and a tow truck there working to get that scene clear, but the damage done, so to speak, to your morning commute. Traffic on southbound I-5 now getting to the south side of town really backed up. This is near OMSI with traffic going up to the Markham Bridge. We're lining things up back onto Interstate 84 at this point because of this wreck. And guys, photojournalist Eric Patterson just drove through this. He said it took him an extra 8 to 10 minutes just to get south to the Twilliger exit ramp. We'll keep you posted on that. Rod?
All right, Chris, thank you. We have a beautiful morning. No cloud cover to speak of here on the west side. That includes you folks at the beach where you're waking up to this and a lovely early morning stroll, it looks like right there. Chinook Winds Casino Resort Camera, Lincoln City, 51 degrees is the temperature outside. Portland, the clear as we look up north over the Motor Center and the Convention Center there along I-5. Early morning temperature has now warmed up to 60 degrees. So the weekend was so comfortable, right? We had the cloudiness Saturday to start. It was only in the 70s. We hit 80 yesterday. Now today with the sun all day, 73 at noon, and we'll jump up to about 85 at 5 o'clock. We could hit 90 tomorrow, so take advantage of this afternoon. That's your update for now.
Thank you, Rod. A man is missing in Vancouver after jumping into the Columbia River to save a child. The Vancouver Fire Department says the 54-year-old entered the water around 8:45 last night to help a child struggling to stay afloat. Now, while he was successful in saving that child, he went under and wasn't seen again. Rescue crews from both sides of the river responded but couldn't find him. Operations were suspended around 10:30, and the incident is now being investigated by the Coast Guard and Vancouver Police.
Portland police arrested a man after he allegedly crashed a stolen car into 2 people over the weekend.
Both people were taken to the hospital with significant injuries. KGW's John Adams brings us more from downtown.
Just after 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon, Portland police say officers attempted to stop a stolen vehicle near Northwest 9th and Burnside. The driver got away from officers who decided not to pursue. The driver then lost control of the vehicle and hit 2 pedestrians at the intersection of Northwest 6th and Gleason.
I saw the car skirting down over towards the gate and a cop following them pretty persistently. They crashed through the gate and into a crowd of people.
Jacoby Bush was on his way to work when he saw the crash.
And the cops took care of it pretty quickly. They all, like 3 of them, swarmed that area, got them on the ground and took care of the people that were also injured and the person that was in the car.
According to PPB, the pedestrians suffered serious injuries and were transported to an area hospital. Their condition is currently unknown. The driver of the vehicle was uninjured and was taken into custody after the crash. Those who live in the area were surprised something like this happened.
Definitely shocked with a wreck like that. Definitely downtown.
It was in the middle of the day. Like, it wasn't late at night. It was just literally that people were sitting by the max. I mean, luckily the max also stopped. People were on the max. The max almost got hit. Like, that could have been anybody.
PPB is asking anyone with information on the crash to contact the Traffic Investigations Unit. John Adams, KGW News.
Meantime, a shooting over the weekend in southeast Portland left one man injured and damaged several cars and homes.
So police believe this all started with a fight between two people who eventually fired shots at each other. So far, though, they haven't made any arrests. Here's KGW's Celine Stevens with more.
They came in 3 rounds. So I heard in the first round about, say, 12 shots.
Those shots ringing out early Sunday morning. The bullets landing in this SUV and this truck along Southeast Brooklyn Street.
Not even 30 seconds later, I hear 6 more. And then maybe a minute later, there was 3 more bullet shots. And then one of those bullets happened to hit my window.
This adding to the recent list of shootings Portland's seen in July, including the July 1st shooting that killed a man outside the Multnomah County Central Library.
It seemed like an eternity that this man was bleeding out on the corner, and it was honestly a mass trauma event.
The shooting that left another man dead in a Safeway parking lot in northeast Portland.
Hearing there's just a dead body in the middle of the parking lot, like, that's shocking.
It's depressing, you know, crime being the way it is, especially in this little neighborhood.
And the shooting in North Portland by McCoy Park last weekend that killed a 21-year-old man.
Pretty normal around here, so we hear about shootings about once a month.
Still, according to statistics from the Portland Police Bureau, from January to June of this year, there have been 301 shootings, while in that same time frame in 2024, there were 434. As for if shootings are common in this area,
Not exactly common, but I wasn't surprised. Like, oh, great. More neighborhood shenanigans.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
Wildfire update this morning. The mayor of White Salmon says the Burdoin fire is now in a transition phase. This fire started 10 days ago. It's burned more than 11,000 acres on the Washington side of the gorge. And we also know at this point it's 54% contained. Fire officials reduced evacuation orders over the weekend. So level 3 go now orders are down to a level 2 and all level 1 orders have been canceled. The Klickitat County Health Department is also offering a limited number of re-entry kits for people who live in that area. They include N95 masks, gloves, and other safety items. If you'd like one of those kits, if you want to request one, we have a link in the most recent article covering the Burdoin fire at KGW.com.
Cute. More than 100 pets looking for a home from the south who may have survived the Texas flooding or other catastrophes have arrived in the Pacific Northwest, and now the Oregon Humane Society is hoping to get more than half of them adopted. PetSmart Charities provided a $50,000 grant to help transport the animals here from the south, where there's limited shelter space right now.
In the Northwest, we have very high adoption rates, so when we have crowded shelters in the South, but we have the space and the capacity to send them out really fast up here, we're always more than willing to help out and get them out as fast as possible so they don't have to live their whole lives in a crowded shelter and they're able to get the care and the needs that they have met.
Those at the Greater Good Charity say meet and greet events provide a good way for prospective pet owners to check out the animals. For more information about the next adoption event, head to OregonHumane.org.
All right, Rod, you can talk about the kittens crawling all over the shoulders. We can talk about the weather that's coming our way on this Monday.
That place was busy though, right? That was the Humane Society? Looked like a flipping grocery store.
No, I don't know if that was actually the Humane Society or not, Rod. I'm not quite sure. They had an adoption event somewhere over the weekend.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Wherever they had it, it was a great location because it was really busy. Here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club camera out in Aloha in Washington County. Couple stories today. Number one, everybody's sunny. There's no marine push. It's sunny all the way up I-5 to Seattle, also over at the coast. Second part of the story is we start to warm up again today after what was a very, very comfortable weekend. Hope you enjoyed the comfortable temperatures. We're at 60. Today we're going to get back up to normal. Normal for Portland this time of the year is mid-80s. Could be a little bit warmer than that. Upper 80s down in Marion County. This is Willamette Valley Vineyards. Off of the Turner exit just south of Salem, looking out over the valley. Just a clear sky, beautiful view from that particular camera. Here are the numbers. We have clear skies, as I mentioned, at the coast. 54 in Astoria and Newport currently. It's clear over in Bend, 64. A little bit of shower activity around Burns. 59 is your temperature, so some cloudiness in the area. It's all dry right now in Pendleton, 69. Now, Futurecast shows that we have scattered showers and maybe some storms later this afternoon, this evening across eastern Oregon, including out toward the Blues and the Wallowas. This area saw some rain last night and earlier this morning. And then tomorrow's blow up starts to develop more back to the west. So it could be some showers and maybe a thunderstorm threat later tomorrow, impact areas of central Oregon. All right, forecast numbers for today. That storm chance out east. Pelton hits 92. The Dalles, Madras up to about 90, but nobody overly hot. Beautiful sunny and nearing 70-degree weather at the coast today. Portland up to 85. Again, we're going to start warming back up. 90 tomorrow, 93 Wednesday. Maybe some of that storm action leaks into the Willamette Valley in terms of scattered showers and potentially even thunderstorms Wednesday overnight into Thursday. We'll keep you updated on that. For now, here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's get you back into Tigard. An update here. Southwest Hall Boulevard was closed for a little while because of that ongoing fire situation at the senior care facility off of Southwest Hall Boulevard. I can tell you Hall Boulevard has reopened. And for more on the actual particulars of that situation, we'll have more on that coming up in just a minute. But the traffic impact is that Hall Boulevard has reopened. Southbound 217 really slow through the Progress area. You can see near Shoals Ferry puttering along at about 9 miles an hour. Not that that's all that unusual for this hour of a Monday morning drive, but just know we've got eyes on it and it's slow rolling. As it is through North Portland, this is I-5 up near the Expo Center. Right now, your trip from Clark County, just shy of 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. And last but not least, I-5 southbound on the Markham Bridge. This is extra busy, guys, as a result of that earlier crash near Terwilliger. The update here is that the crash is clear. The backup, as you can see, is not. So plan some extra time if that is your morning commute over the next half an hour. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Still ahead here on Sunrise. Small local farmers saying they are absolutely relieved after Governor Kotek ordered a pause on proposed rule changes that took aim at how farm stands in the state can operate. Also coming up.
President Trump announcing a major trade deal with America's top trading partner, the European Union. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Coming up, the details we're learning ahead of a big deadline at the end of this week.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Small farms in Oregon, like Topaz Farm on Sauvie Island, are relieved after Governor Kotek paused some proposed rule changes they say could have put them out of business.
KGW's Celine Stevens spoke with a few local farmers over the weekend. They're giving credit to their customers for coming to their rescue.
They spoke up and they spoke loudly.
Farmers breathing a sigh of relief after Governor Tina Kotek announced Friday that she directed the Department of Land Conservation and Development, also known as the DLCD, to pause farm stand rulemaking and reassess the next steps.
Oh my gosh, there were so many tears yesterday. I mean, the very first thing we did when we heard is we got all the staff together, and I don't know who cried more.
There were a lot of tears.
There were a lot of tears.
A lot of tears, a lot of hugs.
It's wonderful. Actually, it's politics at its finest, truthfully. The governor heard people, farmers and consumers, and acted upon that.
You can see we have raspberries, marionberries, chesters.
Kat Topaz and Jim Abels with Topaz Farm says those rules would have made keeping their doors open a lot harder.
It would have put us out of business 100%. Our farm is too small to survive and compete against the big guys. The only way we can survive is as a small farm and to be able to sell our products directly to the public.
Some of those changes under the proposal included things like any non-farm products sold at permitted farm stands would have to relate to the products grown on the farm, and events like weddings or concerts would need to be permitted and complete a thorough review of the impact on neighbors.
So DLCD created these rules that they said were clarifications, but they added complexity, and there were going to be new permits and 7-year reviews.
Right.
While 7-year reviews were a consideration, the state did acknowledge they did not plan to move forward with that idea. For bigger farms like the original pumpkin patch, it still would have been a hindrance.
It sure can be. I mean, we need to be able to plan for the future.
Farmers from all over took to social media against the proposed draft rules, and they say the community's support is what helped make this pause happen.
I think moving forward, anything that needs to be done, there should be farmers at the table. I think farmers should be included.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
In a statement, Governor Kotek discussed supporting local farm business and preserving Oregon's historic land use system. She said in part, we need to acknowledge that some of our small and mid-sized farms need to maintain or consider different business models to continue to deliver the agricultural products and working farms we all love and value in Oregon.
They call like the harvest festivals during the fall, they call that agritainment. And a lot of those farms, like agritainment, they rely on that business. People coming to do the pumpkin patches and the hay rides and all that stuff. And here's another crazy thing. Next month, we get those corn mazes. I mean, it's already, they show up in August. So
what's the big one out near Jervis, is it?
We get the, I know what you're talking about.
Bauman's? Is that
Bauman's Farm.
Yeah, that's
Bauman's
huge.
Farms.
Yeah.
I like French Prairie Gardens is another favorite of mine.
Do they do boiled peanuts?
No, we've talked about this.
Well, I don't understand why. It comes with, it's like.
I just don't think it's a thing here. It wasn't a thing where you grew up either. Where did you worked somewhere where boiled peanuts was a thing?
Knoxville.
Yeah, okay.
They boil peanuts.
Agriculture did not exist in Las Vegas, so.
Yes. We have certain things here that they don't have in Knoxville, but Knoxville has the boiled peanuts.
Yeah, our pumpkin patches
Yep.
and our like tree patches were in parking lots of like a Safeway.
In Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was no other way. That was it. That was a childhood.
A tree in a parking lot in Vegas.
They had like some of it blocked off, and you would buy Christmas trees or pumpkins.
That's
like
exactly
the way
how
you
I'd
do
expect it to be,
wherever you see fireworks stands in Oregon, that's how pumpkins and trees were bought in Vegas.
Okay.
By golly, we've got land. You can go out and find your tree. I love it, actually.
Yeah, nice
it's cool.
Yeah. All right, what are we looking at here? Radar satellite picture. We had storms last overnight into early this morning, lightning. That is what's left of that particular cluster I'm talking about over into Idaho. Some more showers around Burns. This is the area that will be under the gun today for a scattered shower and thunderstorm activity. The marine clouds are way offshore, way back here. So we're all sunny here on the west side, including the coast. Now, Futurecast, one of the headlines this week is that today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, every day we're expecting mainly PM hours of scattered shower, thunderstorm development, and for the most part, near the east of the Cascades. This is this afternoon, redeveloping across the east. Now notice the trend tomorrow, a little bit more of an explosive batch of potential thunderstorms, 4 o'clock Tuesday. And maybe some of this stuff gets into central Oregon. I don't think so today, but tomorrow maybe. And then here we go Wednesday, scattered storms, and look at Medford. Thunderstorm activity now continuing to migrate more and more back to the west. There's a cluster of storms right here. This is Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock. See how all this came up and it starts to kind of bend back toward us? Some of the modeling takes these storms, weakens them, breaks them up, but brings some shower activity into the Willamette Valley, and there could be some thunder and lightning with it Wednesday overnight into Thursday morning, so we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, with the thunderstorm threats that we're talking about over the next, 5 days, including today, that does heighten the concern for more fire starts. We updated you earlier in our newscast that the Burdoyne fire in the gorge, the one burning between, east of White Salmon and then ends about 5 miles west of Lyle, has over 50% containment now, so that's good news. If you look at and count these little fire emblems or icons, there's only 11 of them. So knock on wood, we're in the last days of July, and the Northwest Large Fire Map is actually pretty quiet by our standards, including what was a big cluster of named storms down in southwestern Oregon, and that's only down to 2 blazes right now. So lots of good news to report on the fire front. Here we are today. We have beautiful sunshine, and we're going to be warming up. It's 60 in Portland right now. We'll get up to about 85 degrees for a high temperature this afternoon. Now on our 7-day, we go back to 90 tomorrow and 93 on Wednesday. So we're going to be heating back up. And then remember that chance of some showers and maybe a thunderstorm migrating into the Willamette Valley Wednesday overnight, Thursday. Maybe a shower Thursday overnight, Friday morning. And then after that, the weekend will be here again. And it looks really comfortable at this point. That's your forecast. Here's Chris.
My weekend starts on Tuesday.
Ooh, tomorrow?
There's the flex.
Wow.
Actually Wednesday, but anyway. All right, let's get you back to the drive on I-5 southbound. This is your biggest unexpected slow spot of the morning commute right now. We're still running really thick across the Markham Bridge. Most of this is due to the earlier trouble we had near Terwilliger. That crash, by the way, is out of the way, but there's always a ripple effect. And here you go. Westbound I-84, a little tight coming out of the Hollywood district. All right, back through North Portland. This is a good sight. If you've been watching us for the last 15, 20 minutes, thank you. And also, for the drivers on this stretch of road, the backup that was here has flushed out a little bit. So with that in mind, your drive from Clark County has dropped a little bit. China, we're down to 16 minutes to get you in from Main Street down to the Fremont Bridge.
Thank you, Chris. Coming up, a trade deal between the U.S. and the EU has been reached, ending months of tariff uncertainty. We have the details, the deal, plus more national headlines coming up after the break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
President Trump and the European Union agreed to a new trade deal that sets tariffs at 15%. Meantime, today, the U.S. and Chinese economic officials will resume talks to discuss tariffs. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington, D.C.
President Trump meeting this morning with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer with the spotlight on trade and refining a broad agreement reached in May.
It brings unity. We didn't need unity, but it brings us even closer together.
It follows the announcement of a hard-fought deal between top trading partners the United States and the European Union.
It's the biggest of all the deals. Thank you very much.
The agreement sets 15% tariffs on most European goods entering the U.S., the European Commission president emphasizing stability.
It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic.
She underscored the improvement from the 30% import tax President Trump had threatened. The rate does apply to European cars, but there are exceptions, including no tariffs on aircraft parts, certain generic drugs, and some agricultural products. As details are hammered out, no word yet on rates for in-demand European wines. President Trump says the EU will not impose tariffs on U.S. imports and will purchase $750 billion worth of American energy while investing an additional $600 billion into the U.S.
And they're agreeing to purchase a vast amount of military equipment.
It comes ahead of an August 1st deadline when countries that haven't reached a deal will see higher tariffs, forcing U.S. businesses that import materials from abroad to absorb more added costs.
It's a lot to shoulder for small business owners.
Or pass them along to consumers. The EU deal does not affect the 50% tariff on steel and aluminum imports into the U.S. that is in place. European leaders are hoping to bring that down through continued negotiations. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to your morning rush in Washington, a new law went into effect yesterday that provides civil immunity for people who go into another person's car to save an animal or a vulnerable person who's been left inside. So in order to qualify for civil immunity, the person must have, among other things, good faith and reasonable belief that entering the car is necessary because the person or animal in the car is in danger. The man who stabbed 11 people at a Michigan Walmart on Saturday could face terrorism charges. Officials say 42-year-old Bradford Gilley has a history of assault incidents and controlled substance violations. We still don't know the motive behind the stabbings, but one of the victims has since been released from the hospital. And a Caitlin Clark trading card has set yet another record. The one-of-a-kind autographed 2024 WNBA rookie card sold at an auction for $660,000, making it the most expensive women's sports card ever sold. The sale nearly doubles the previous record for a women's sports card, which was also held by Caitlin Clark. And that's your morning rush. And coming up, a new grading system coming to Portland's public schools this year. Traditional A through F grades are out. We take a look at the new system coming up in our next half hour. Plus, one woman's move from California to Washington didn't really go as planned. Why her home is now filled with donated items. Stay with us.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm China Green. Governor Tina Kotek announced a pause on proposed farm stand regulations that many feared would threaten their livelihoods. The proposed rules would have required that any non-farm products sold at farm stands be directly related to items grown on the farm. Kotek acknowledged the pressures facing Oregon's farming community while preserving Oregon's historic land use system. All right, headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
Yeah, beautiful morning out there. There is no marine push, so the coast is clear. The valley is clear all the way up I-5 to Seattle. Here's our state capital. Temperatures, of course, now starting to warm up in the 8 o'clock hour. Salem has made it up to 60 degrees. And looking across the Willamette River, downtown Portland also reporting a number of 60 73 at noon, getting warmer after that comfortable weekend, 85 today. Now enjoy that because it'll be 90 tomorrow or close to it, 93 on Wednesday. Maybe we get some thunderstorm activity Wednesday overnight into Thursday. We'll keep you updated.
All right, 8:30 half hour of sunrise on your Monday morning, and we start with this. Cottage cheese is making a comeback.
Oh yeah,
the cottage cheese comeback. Cottage cheese sales. Listen,
I like the grimace if that's what I thought that was.
Listen, I'm like, ah.
I think we should take a vote here. Go on.
Cottage cheese sales up 20% in the U.S. compared to a year ago. Yes.
Wow.
This increase is being attributed to influencers, you know, those people that everyone loves to follow.
Yeah.
Who've created new recipes with cottage cheese and posted those recipes on social media apps.
I'm putting it on my waffles, but go ahead.
The turnaround comes as Americans are increasingly looking for high protein, low sugar foods. Cottage cheese comeback China green.
Yep, I love
Wow.
it.
Do you really?
Yes.
You love the cottage cheese.
There's so much that you could do with it. I actually have several things saved on my Instagram to make with it. But one of my favorite things to do, I love, if you get sour cream and then you put the ranch powder into it and you mix it up and then you do it with chips. Well, that's super fattening, obviously. But if you do it with like non-fat cottage cheese and you blend it, it tastes exactly the same. And you can eat the entire thing. The entire thing.
I have an unrelated question.
Yeah.
Is that your cooking sweater you're wearing here on the Sunrise Show this morning? What? Just
No, I
asking.
don't wear this when we're like on air because it doesn't look great, but I'm cold and we're streaming, and the streaming people are like way cooler.
And
So
they're understanding.
And they're understanding and they're forgiving, and it's cold in here.
In
So
your defense, it is about 53 degrees in the studio this morning.
got the blanket. I got
take this off, man.
the Uggs.
Oh, wow.
I'm so
Walking back and
cold.
forth
This
here.
is too much for the streamers. Too much.
We're getting comfortable together.
Let's get you going. Schnickwas Casino Resort Camera in Lincoln City. You know what kind of defeats the purpose, but I also don't mind just a little bit of sugar on my cottage cheese. Here's the temperature outside. There's no marine push, obviously. It's just a beautiful, mainly clear sky day up and down the beach, 54 degrees. Lincoln City could potentially get up to 70 today. Not much wind, just A+ weather at the coast. And in Portland, not much wind, beautiful sunshine. We'll be getting up into the 80s this afternoon, so warm but not crazy hot, 73 degrees at noon, and there's 85 at 5 o'clock. I mentioned the beaches could get up to about 70 today. Now, last night we had some thunderstorms out across far eastern Oregon, and that could happen again later today into this evening, so you folks keep an eye out for that. It looks like Central Oregon stays dry today, Bend 86, Madras, and then northward up into the Dalles, where it should also stay dry today, about 91 degrees expected. Our 7-day, a couple things to point out. Number one, we're going to start warming back up, at least for a few days. 85 today, 90 tomorrow, 93 on Wednesday. There's a thunderstorm cluster with a disturbance tracking Wednesday late day that could bounce over the Cascades and bring us some rain activity, including maybe some thunder and lightning Wednesday overnight into Thursday here in the valley. And then you could make the argument there could be a shower pop at some point Thursday overnight and Friday morning as well. So we'll see. Right now, the upcoming weekend looks really nice and pretty comfortable. Here's Chris.
You know what I just realized 3.5 hours into our show, Rod?
What?
We both have the same color tie on.
Oh, we do?
Yes. Matchy, matchy. All right, let's go ahead and get you over to the west side. Southbound 205, running a little thick through the Gladstone area. Not bad, 16 miles an hour. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say that's not bad. That is slow, but that's kind of normal for this hour of a Monday morning drive. Your I-5 commute, this is a little misleading because the end of the line now has cleared Clark County. That said, it's still taking you about 20 minutes to get in from Main Street. The lineup actually starts right around here at the Expo Center. From here, it's slow and go the rest of the way down at the Rose Quarter. And last but not least, this has been a trouble spot throughout the morning. We had some earlier trouble southbound on I-5 near Terwilliger. That's out of the way, but the traffic is still taking a little while to flush out, and most notably here on the westbound Banfield, it's just a little extra slow, so plan an extra minute or two there. Your total drive coming in from Troutdale breaks down like this, about 25 minutes now from Troutdale west to the I-5 split. China, Drew?
Thank you, Chris. Top story here at 8:30 is the search for a missing swimmer in the Clackamas River near Carver Park.
We are still waiting for more information from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, but here's what we know this morning. Clackamas Fire says a person reported that their friend had gone underwater while floating down the river and they never came back up. That missing swimmer was later recovered, but Clackamas Fire would not confirm their condition. So again, we're waiting for an update at this point from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office.
The search for Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters near Leavenworth, Washington, is starting to wind down. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says it's getting fewer leads and tips, and at this point, it's unknown whether he's alive. There's still a $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. With bear season opening next month, law enforcement in Washington are asking hunters to stay alert and report anything suspicious.
Washington County investigators are looking for other possible victims after arresting a man in Aloha who's accused of kidnapping and several sex crimes. We do want to give a warning here that some of the details in this story are difficult to hear. Here's KGW's Alma McCarty.
On July 21st, deputies arrived in this quiet Aloha neighborhood responding to a report of a sexual assault.
This wasn't an easy call for them to take. The charges are pretty egregious.
Charges against 58-year-old Drew Hendricks for the alleged assault of a 20-year-old woman he did not know. A woman who court documents say got lost near his home without a phone after she'd been drinking with friends at an event that night.
Because of the nature of this call and because of the person we were dealing with, our tactical negotiations team, which is essentially our SWAT team, was who took him into custody.
Prosecutors in Washington County say Hendricks was in his garage when he found the victim crying and needing help. Although she asked for directions to a gas station, he allegedly invited her inside and refused to let her leave, telling her he was, quote, so lucky that she stumbled upon his door. Documents describe how he allegedly forced her to smoke meth before sexually assaulting her and taking pictures of the abuse. Investigators also believe Hendricks sexually assaulted a man in his 80s that very same night and inside the same home.
We are looking for additional victims to come forward.
Prosecutors also claiming in court documents that Hendricks has a pattern of stalking, threats, and being sexually inappropriate with women, especially at the auto repair shop he used to own in Portland.
There are allegations of misconduct that span over 15 years.
Hendricks remains at the Washington County Jail without bail, pending a preventative detention hearing. Alma McCarty, KGW News.
An 83-year-old woman says she's basically starting over at this point after her move from California to Washington turned into a nightmare.
She claims that a moving company is trying to charge her more than 4 times the initial quote. Christian Balderas with our sister station in Seattle has more.
Nearly everything in Beth Robinson's apartment is donated.
The people here have been unbelievable.
Including the clothes.
This jacket
on her back
belonged to someone.
How many clothes do you got with you? Do you still have?
Two outfits.
Only 2?
Uh-huh.
How are you making do with only 2 outfits?
I do a lot of washing.
Beth moved from Palm Desert, California to a senior living community in Bothell, Washington to be closer to her daughter. Her stuff was supposed to follow with the help of Noble Moving and Storage. She says now that's a lost cause.
If ideally you get all your stuff back.
I won't.
You won't?
No. I've already told them that I will not go above $10,000.
An invoice shows Beth was first quoted $3,700. She says that later changed to a verbal quote of about $6,000 for an additional 25 boxes and some small furniture. But after the movers loaded everything onto the truck, she was slapped with this bill for over $26,000, and the driver demanded a tip of $1,200 in cash. The mover threatened to empty her belongings on the street if she didn't agree to it.
At 7 o'clock at night, 83 years old, 5 feet tall, I was scared. And so I signed it, and I gave them the $10,000 check.
King 5 contacted Noble Moving and Storage but has yet to receive a response. The Better Business Bureau does not accredit the company, which has received 25 complaints over the past year.
I think that they're unethical, and I don't know how they sleep at night.
But as for Beth, she says she's sleeping fine.
This is just something that happened, and there's nothing I can do about it. Why ruin a moment of my life stressing about it?
In other local news this morning, a fire at the Pittock Bird Sanctuary in northwest Portland destroyed a garage this morning. That fire started around 4:30. It shut down a stretch of Cornell Road for more than 2 hours. Firefighters were able to keep the fire from spreading to nearby trees. No one was hurt. Chris, I know this is a situation you were following because of that traffic impact.
Yeah, Cordell Road was actually closed for quite a while. It was difficult terrain for the TVFNR to get in there. Also, an update on the west side. We talked about a fire at a senior care facility on Southwest, or just off of Southwest Hall Boulevard. Southwest Hall Boulevard was closed for a while. That has reopened. More details forthcoming on the facility itself, but the road impact is that has reopened. Speaking of roads, boy, this is kind of an interesting compare and contrast. As we look at 217, yeah, that's a little slow southbound at 99W. Look at that fresh asphalt on the southbound side of the freeway. That is lovely to drive over. We are coming up on the last two directional closures of 217 in the month of August on the northbound side of the freeway. So that paving should be wrapping up later this month or next month. I'll let you know about those as we get closer. Southbound 205, a little slow through the Gladstone area, normal slow and go there. And the I-5 drive still heavy, but again, the end of the line has worked its way out of Clark County. The lion's share of that 21 minutes is from right here at the Expo Center down into the Rose Quarter. Drew, China?
Thank you, Chris. The Portland Bureau of Transportation upgrading some bike lanes around town from those plastic barriers you see, those tall, skinny plastic barriers, to concrete ones. Coming up, we'll talk more about this change along Nadeau Parkway.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, some big changes coming to the Portland Public School District. So starting this year, middle school kids in the district will be graded differently.
Thomas Schultz has more on how the move is revolutionizing report cards and homework.
Some things are constant for middle schoolers. There's math class, gym class, and report cards. Though soon, grading could change.
The grade book is going to look different.
Melissa Sabga is a math teacher at Robert Gray Middle School. This year, middle schoolers across Portland Public will be graded on a new system. Report cards won't be rated A through F. Homework won't be graded either.
I personally love it.
It's called standards-based grading, where grades are based on knowledge of material.
It gives very specific information to parents on where students are doing well and maybe they need more work.
Here's how it works. Instead of a kid getting an 89 in English, grades are more specific. Maybe a student is highly proficient in reading, but lacking in writing.
And you can really see where the gaps are and where the learning is.
Micah Yai is a Lewis and Clark education professor. She wrote a book about this model.
It's very clear where students know things.
Other districts are using standard-based grading too. Beaverton uses the model because it assesses student progress and provides timely feedback.
There's much more fine grain, so you can see where you need to do your instruction.
Still, it's an idea national outlets like the New York Post blasted 2 years ago when PPS announced the change. Critics say it fails kids who need help. PPS declined our interview request. And while teachers say homework isn't graded, kids do take assessments to show what they've mastered.
It's much more equitable for all kids, really.
As a sixth grade teacher, I think it's better for students.
Okay, and so for right now, it's just for middle schoolers, that is, but Portland Public Schools also plans to eventually use standards-based grading in elementary school, too. It's still unclear right now exactly when that would happen, China.
Rod looks so confused right now. So let's talk about the homework. Why is the homework not graded?
Yeah, so the theory behind this is that some kids have tutoring, maybe they have parents that are able to help them. Other kids are going home, maybe they're looking after younger siblings. They don't have that help. So it may not be an exact science of, okay, this kid's got 100 on their grading. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's their parent or a tutor that's helping them that the other kid didn't have that advantage.
And then if grades aren't an F, how should parents go about understanding their child's report card?
Oh yeah, that's where it gets a little tricky, right? It's going to be broken down into something called proficiency. Here's what that's going to look like. The district gave a rubric showing grades like highly proficient and close to proficient. It'll be a little bit different, right? And then here's what it's actually going to look like on a report card as well. You can see right there, math and Common Core, they got a proficient grade there. That means they did really well. So instead of an A, it's going to be proficient.
And I know how Rod is feeling right now, confused. How do teachers feel about it?
A little bit confused too for the ones who are just starting to incorporate this, right? It's going to be a little bit different for them, but some teachers have used this for a long time. They said once you kind of work out the kinks, it makes sense, and they think better for students.
Well, good luck, parents.
Yeah. Good conversation there, guys.
What?
Oh, yeah, Brian pulled the shot too quickly. Brian, you're always ahead of the game, our director there.
But if you want more information about what's happening here, you can find it on our website, KGW.com.
Meanwhile, to this story. The city of Portland says it's going to try and make biking safer. Good job, Thomas, by the way, by replacing those skinny plastic bike lane barriers that separate bikes from traffic with concrete barriers. So more than a half-mile stretch of Nato Parkway between the Steel and Burnside bridges have these new barriers already. We spoke to a local biker who says the move from plastic to concrete is a good one.
In places where the automobile speed is greater, like on Nato like that, a barrier like that's better because there's a lot less time for a motorist to make a reaction or to have a lapse in judgment where they're going to swerve into the bike lane.
That stretch of Nato Parkway is just one of 9 spots in the city scheduled to get that concrete upgrade. If you text the words bike lanes to that number on your screen, 503-226-5088, we will text you back with a link to the full list at KGW.com.
Bike lanes. Bike lanes.
Yeah, should we get back to that grading story? It's kind of
Hold on. I would like the public to know that when Rod was watching this entire story,
oh boy, here
he was in front of the camera. We have a monitor right here, just looking like this.
I was like, hi.
The entire time.
You know what I was thinking about, China?
What were you thinking about?
Let me throw our own company under the bus here for a second, because I think a lot of employees, when this came out, went, what? So you know, we get annual reviews like a lot of companies give their employees, right? And we used to get something like excellent or whatever.
It exceeds expectations, meets expectations.
So lately, I don't care, like if I forecasted 12 snowstorms in a row right down to the actual inch of correct snow, the company would say, Rod, you met expectations, thank you. That's like the best you can get. You met expectations. It's like, really?
I feel like, and my husband works at Nike, and this is the same thing. There's very few people that exceeds expectations on the reviews. Like,
Bill Knight exceeds expectations.
Why? Why?
I don't want to rub this in your guys' face, but
don't tell me.
Between the years 2020 and 2023, I got exceeds expectations.
No, you didn't.
I swear to goodness.
That just shows you how nutty the whole thing is.
I agree with you on that part, actually.
What?
Exceeding. They think very low of me.
We've got to go.
So every time I just show up and do something, they're like, wow, that exceeded our expectations.
We got to move on. The boss is going to let me know that I am not meeting expectations. Here's our showers. These were thunderstorms. This cluster earlier last night and early this morning in eastern Oregon. That's moving off. But you can see some clouds and even some shower activity in and around Burns. So this is the area of continued development, especially once we get into this afternoon. I think it stays dry today in central Oregon. It stays dry out in the gorge as well. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. And I want to show off the winds. Check this out. 4 miles per hour. We'll see light winds pretty much statewide today, including the Columbia River Gorge. Now, the Dalles will be warming back up into the 90s, but nothing crazy hot. Here's the Chehalem Tasting Room camera out in Sherwood looking out over the vineyard and what I like to call the barn camera there on the left. 60 is the current temperature. The bricks are going to be getting toasty the next several afternoons. I mean, today I have us getting up to about 85. It's not too bad, but after that weekend that went 73 and 80, you'll see 85 today. You'll notice it being quite a bit warmer. Pioneer Park building camera looking down at the square. We're at 60 degrees. out at PDX. 56 in Kelso, again, all sunny. 68, clear skies over in Bend this morning. It is partly cloudy out in Burns. Again, radar's been showing there are some showers in the area for you folks. Here's Futurecast showing at 3 o'clock this afternoon, Eastern Oregon, more clusters of, well, maybe not clusters, but some individual scattered shower and thunderstorms. Tomorrow, the activity looks to be more robust coming up from the south. Here we are at 4 o'clock, and maybe some showers tomorrow over into Central Oregon. And the trend is everything just slowly migrates back to the west. So here's Wednesday. 4 o'clock in the afternoon Wednesday, Medford, some thunderstorms. Here's a cluster of storms Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock. And this is the cluster, the model doesn't go beyond this, but this is the cluster that could make its way over the Cascades and bring us some scattered shower and even thunderstorm activity into parts of the Willamette Valley Wednesday overnight and into Thursday. So we'll keep an eye on that for you this week. Back to today's gorgeous weather. Pacific City, all sunshine, 72 degrees. Valley starting to heat back up. In fact, 88 expected in Salem and McMinnville. More like mid-80s up in Southwest Washington, Longview 84 and Vancouver 85. And I have Portland up to 85 today. 90 tomorrow, 93 Wednesday. We start getting hot again. There's that storm chance into Thursday. Maybe even a shower chance Friday morning. And then after that, the weekend upcoming looks to be pretty comfortable. It is birthday time. All right, Elise, pitcher right there in Tualatin. Great action shot, 8 years old today. Happy birthday to you. And also celebrates Allison with her favorite doggy there, looks like 49 years young. Happy birthday to you. And that's our list today. Birthdays at KGW.com, and we'll celebrate with you. Here's Chris.
Rod, thank you for that. Let's take you back over to Clackamas. I-205 southbound slow from Clackamas to Gladstone. Not that this is unusual for a Monday morning, but there you go. The traffic sensor showing us 14 miles an hour right now to cover that 4 or 5 miles of freeway from Clackamas south of Westland. So plan some time there. Obviously, I-5 out of Clark County. The end of the line has made its way down to the interstate bridge, but once you do, it is back to looking like this up near the Expo Center. I don't have any trouble per se. It's just a slow drive from basically there down to I-405 and the Fremont Bridge. And a quick check at some of your other drive times. Not bad. Right now, westbound 84 is still kind of suffering a little bit through the Hollywood district. This is somewhat of a result of some earlier trouble down near the Twilliger curves. That's clear, but a little bit of a backup. No major unexpected stuff, though, on the roads right now. Guys?
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Here's a look at some of this morning's top local stories. A weekend shooting in southeast Portland injured one man and damaged several homes and cars. Police say this started with a fight between two people, but so far they have not made any arrests. Governor Kotek announced a pause on proposed changes to the rules that regulate farm stands in the state. A lot of small local farmers said that these changes could have shut them down. The proposed rule changes aim to require that any non-farm products sold at farm stands had to be directly related to items that are actually grown at the farm. And lastly here, officials say the Burdoin fire is now in a transition stage and reduced evacuation orders over the weekend. So level 3 go now orders are down to a level 2 and all level 1 orders have been canceled. This fire started 10 days ago and has burned more than 11,000 acres on the Washington side of the gorge. At this point, it's 54% contained.
You know, the wildfire news, Oregon and Washington combo is generally all very good. Winds will be light in most areas of our two-state region today, including out in the gorge. Portland, sunshine, 85. We get back up to some 90-degree temperatures tomorrow and Wednesday. Could be some thunderstorms spill into the valley Wednesday night into Thursday.
Your drive right now improving. A couple of slow spots remain. There it is, live at the Expo Center. I-5 southbound on the left-hand side of your screen, still puttering along there. We're looking at about 18 minutes to get you from bridge to bridge. I'd say maybe 17 minutes from the interstate bridge to the Fremont. And quick check over the east side. Not bad. It's easy for me to sit here and say that. I'm not stuck in it, but
Right.
it could be worse. 22 minutes gets you in from Troutdale to I-5.
All right, listen to this. Buckle up and pay attention. Scientists have long been fascinated by Betelgeuse, one of the night sky's best known and brightest stars, because its brightness has been known to change over time. Now, a team of astronomers think that they have an explanation. They think that they've found a never-before-seen companion star. Yeah, the astronomers will have a chance to confirm their theory in November 2027 when they say it will be easier to spot. Now, I don't know what a companion star does. Does that mean they work in tandem?
They get along. I think it means they get along.
They do a little pirouette. They dance. I think what it means is that one shrouds the other for most of the viewing, and so it's very seldomly seen. But it could be just enough to do that little flicker, which
I'm going to say simply because you used the word shroud, you actually know what you're talking about.
It's just me.
That was my thought too. Wow, he really knows.
How do you
this
spell
stuff.
that?
I'm into stars. I watched videos with my kids of here's some cool stuff on the internet. Let's look at this. So
you had me at shroud. That does it for a Monday edition of the Sunrise Show. But man, we are not even close to being done this week. We will bring you the Tuesday edition tomorrow morning. Tuesday always works best on Tuesday.